Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. Here we are at the end of the season. We made it to tier 39, which is great, and we had a decent time on offense, definitely quite a few mishaps, but we still made it nonetheless. So of course this week, because Lift is bonus, we get to merge Plonk and pretend to be a whale and have a maximum lift loss of -20. So of course we're running our usual sets. Probably should run Fury on Duma or something, to be honest, but kind of don't really care too much. Nana of course at +10, and just our usual shenanigans. The real threats on this defense are just people sabotaging themselves. So like trying to hit end turn against Legendary Nana with a unit that just can't tank her is not a good idea. And vice versa for Legendary Lilina. We've seen before that people have decided to hit end turn with their far save unit adjacent to their baiting unit, which Legendary Lilina says hi to. Not a great idea. But Yuri's gonna pop his AoE for not that much damage. Feels bad, man. Ascended Leguarn doesn't have enough attack to one-shot because, well, she has no field buffs on her since they took out Odor with Home Cav. So, pretty straightforward there, but now Legendary Lilina is up against Marianne. But the AoE special does not care that Marianne can debuff into that by a lot. So, that's a rip. And then we can go again, take out Dual Lin this time, do a nice amount of damage to overwhelmingly fixable one-shot and call it a day.
Our mission.
And well, Lilina has way too much HP because she's bonus, so never getting to Wings of Mercy range until now. On offense, we kind of had the problem of only 2 ranged units. We had Ashera and Plumeria. So needless to say, we had a pretty hard time initiating on some teams, because that's the premise of our strat. Just initiating on people and then going aggressive afterwards. So that's definitely was a huge problem this week. We definitely had to sack a lot of units this week because of that. I think every match that we sacked, it was a 1-unit sack, so what can you do about it? Unfortunately, Legendary Nana not buffed enough on attack to one-shot Carla. And that's a common problem with Legendary Nana, she's just too slow to double. And so, especially in Ether raids, one-shotting, for example, the speed-based reduction tanks is pretty darn difficult. But here, Legendary Lilina no longer has her AoE. Even if she did, would not have a great time against Ascended anyways. Not that it matters. It would be more for the chip damage, but Odor is no way going to one-shot Carla because of the damage reduction. And of course, quite a last of damage output. Damage reduction is the side benefits. And well, yeah, overall, would not. Legendary Nana again on offense, super useful for taking out units in one round. Did not see, I don't think any Kanto control this time around. We might have luck sacked, or people just didn't bother to fodder off the Kanto control, because to be fair,
You will die.
Medi is kind of good. But Carla putting in some work. Once you survive that one combat, it's basically over. And this is a very common strategy, to just have the far save unit not actually have distant counter. And so their entire objective is just the wall, which is somewhat viable. It has its issues, of course, because since you can't counter, enemies can keep attacking you as much as they like. You don't have to worry about dying. So that can be a problem against, for example, especially on Dark Season, harmonized Catria teams where you'll get plotted and stuff. And even if you're running Deflect Seal or whatnot, it can still be a big problem and it'll add up over time. One advantage of running a far save unit like this is that you can stall out a ranged unit safely while you go grab the ether structures, so that's definitely nice. Otherwise on defense, it's all our defense here. It's all about, will people sabotage themselves? That's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple defense to beat. You could even...
I do not enjoy
It's definitely helpful to have a dancer against this team, but it is totally feasible to win without a dancer. It just needs more thought. But the fact we don't have Kanto control, or even Duo's hindrance for that matter, just to give the opponent slightly more of a challenge, yeah, of course we're gonna get rolled. Apparently early on in the season we just get matched up against a bunch of reasonably stacked players. 10 out of 10. I think one thing I do want to change going forward though is swapping Duma's place with the catapult, but the problem with that is if someone has Ellie in column 4, then they both disable Bone Cav on Odor and Duma's upheaval. So, kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Don't like it, but it actually kind of just doesn't matter. Because most people, if they're going to have safe defense, they'll go in turn 1. You can generally just steamroll the team turn 1, although if you're going to corner one of our units, it would be like Olivia, because her offensive presence isn't that strong. You just can't have a super frail unit with global block Olivia. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, you can just steamroll like this person is. And they're just going to take out Olivia, and of course there's something we can do here. Because our mobility is non-existent with those two. Even if Duma had armored boots or something, it wouldn't change anything. It's kind of just why we don't have on Duma, but Duma is special refined on Bell Breath. The proc condition is so garbage when he's the last unit remaining. There's no way for it to proc, which is, unless the opponent decides to let him initiate into it, which would be very strange to do if you aren't running like a save.
You're a wonder.
Easy flaps for this person, not a surprise. You should be winning against this defense if you have a lot of offensive units, duo skills, Kanto, dancers, all of that. And here we are with another team. This time they have Duo's Indulgence. Have not seen that in a while. Of course, because most people run... Oops. I keep pressing not Duo's Indulgence, 10 out of 10. A lot of people have Duo's Hindrance on defense, so Duo's Indulgence doesn't really make sense unless you can be hyper consistent in either taking out the opponent's Duo's Hindrance or taking out all their Duo and Harmonized units, which is not a really consistent thing to go for on offense. Certainly reasonable to have an 80% plus win consistency rate, but getting it to 100% is pretty hard.
Prepare yourself.
Just because there's a lot of different variables that can occur. The main variable is usually just save units, not because, say, they're unkillable, but more because you have to waste an action to take them out. That's the largest issue, and when you're trying to take out all of their duo harmonized units, and if they run multiple
Lynn,
ones.
you're a wonder.
Having to also take out the save
Prepare
units
yourself.
can be a huge problem when you don't have access
Accept your
to
punishment.
your duo and harmonized skills yet. So that's why you don't really see it as much. Here, they're just making sure they're running away from everyone because, of course, they don't want Legendary Nana initiating into any of their units here.
Oh, how debonair.
But, you know, we don't have distant... I was thinking about memeing and running distant counter Nana. Really for the memes, but not really worth it. It would just be funny. Because, of course, the largest drawback of that is we lose 7 attack and speed, which is kind of a big deal, not gonna lie. Should probably also consider memeing someday and giving her like attack speed catch 4, so that she can potentially get +9 attack and speed without having to do something like Blade Session and have 2 units use their actions first before her. But once again, like usual, Duma is last. Not really much we're going to bother with that. And instead of breaking the rest of the structures, they're just going to close out the match. Fair enough. And once again, pretty straightforward win. Pretty expected. And now we have ourselves Bride Fiorm, who again is completely useless against Olivia. At least it's healing tower bonus this week, so Duma's upheaval plus at least is not going to hurt her too much. But I mean, this defense does not have very many gimmicks. It's just, are you going to sabotage yourself or not? To some degree, of course, this defense can be annoying for people who don't have the resources to pull off such shenanigans. Like, say you were just trying to play Ether Raid's offense with basically free-to-play units. You could certainly win against this defense, but you definitely have to think pretty hard. At least, unlike us, they would have access to more than one team. So, at least, you know, you could prepare, have more options against a defense like this, because it shouldn't be that difficult. We got units like Dual Lin for free, but of course, she's not permanently free. That's the thing about the free-to-play experience is later on you play, the less free stuff you get relative to people who played day one, which makes sense, of course, but a Hero Rises units being limited time, and even the Choose Your Legends units free summon thing being limited can be a problem. Speaking of problems, we have ourselves a Sundered Legion with Olivia, so obviously this isn't going to go well.
Fading fast.
And, well, Ripperonis. I feel like they should have been able to win with this team, but then again, not trivial. Probably the best thing about the Merge Plump defense is that we just need one kill to not lose any lift. But of course, when your defense is as meme as ours, that can be pretty hard. But see, they're using Kaden for Astra Season. Kaden with Ashera, absolutely insane, especially with his Refine giving Cannon Baton. Yeah. Super solid on Astra Season. I do have a Kaden for Astra Season, I just don't use them because we don't have any real viable tank strategies. That's just kind of the inherent problem of our defense. So here, absolutely going to obliterate Lilna, but first, Sundered Leghorn actually has her field buff. They did not use Elamine to shut down Hone Kev, so Ascended Leghorn actually gets to do some damage. Speaking of damage, Oder is starting out with 0 times 2. At least he does 0 damage. Because if you proc Luna and do 0 damage, your attack stat is pretty low, or your opponent is needing a crud ton of defense. Or res, I guess.
Fool.
And well, once again, to snipe down Legendary Nana before she ever gets to attack. But, I mean, when Legendary Nana did get to attack, she didn't even pick up the kill anyways, so does that really matter? That's why we want plus attack on Legendary Nana, because even in that Carla matchup, if we did have the plus speed IV on Legendary Nana, it still wouldn't have doubled anyways, so it just... And it's not like having a guaranteed follow-up effect with that either, because no follow-up songs.
Don't waste your
So,
energy.
that's just an issue with Legendary Nana going forward. She's not going to be able to double the speed-based reduction tank, and she's probably not going to be able to one-shot them either. Which is why she already needs a remix, Kappa. she's doing fine for now. Definitely has her issues with but you know, if you can get her to attack twice against those speed-based reduction tanks, most of them won't survive. And for most tanks, if he gets the quad, yeah, it's pretty much game over. And well, Duma's upheaval plus not doing anything, but Fell Breath of Fine is. Not that it matters here, because we are still just going to lose, because they can just heal up, and Duma can't one-shot in Vantage range. So the only fun part is Fell Breath actually proccing, so that Brave Edelgard can't attack twice, but it doesn't matter. Here we have ourselves classic combo. Duo Korin, Yuri, and a bunch of dancers, also known as 2 dancers. Not too many merges except for the duo Korin here. Looks like this person may or may not have summoned on Hero Rises. Totally not. But they have full access to their duo skills and everything, so you know, reasonably you should expect that they will be able to do well here.
Your life is forfeit!
They got Legendary Lilna, of course, because I'm pretty sure none of their units wants to try and face tanker. And well, not entirely sure what their plan was there, going for the Wolf Trap, but now Duma's in Vantage range, which is fun, of course. Most of their units aren't going to be able to survive them right now.
Korin's the coolest!
Especially since they've procced the Wolf Trap, but I mean, everything's all handy and dandy here, of course, it seems, because Olivia is going to be unable to take out Yuri, of course. But if you were paying attention at the start of the video, yeah, we have Wings of Mercy on Lift, so Duma moves first, and then we actually have a tiny bit of mobility, which means Ripperoni for our opponent here. They could have won from here on out, because of course they can even wait for Duma to heal out of Vantage range and take care of him accordingly, but yeah, lost the unit, so didn't want to take the match for good reason. Is those kind of things that you just don't really think about as much on offense? I forget that stuff all the time too. You just don't process that the enemy units, you know, they're chipped down, so then now the Wings of Mercy is ready to go. So here they're running a low-level Plumeria. I wonder why she's level 2. Not entirely sure. I'm sure this is for a Winter Bernadetta team or something on another team. So that's cool. Looks like they're just gonna hit end turn, and of course here they're smartly putting Ascended P-Arm not adjacent to Plumeria, because as you can see, if she was adjacent to Plumeria, she'd be taking a lot of damage here. Would not be surprised if Legendary Lilna would barely be able to take her out though, because of course Ascended P-Arm has HP. And here, Ascended P-Arm gets to survive and one shot, which is huge. And of course, if she didn't one shot, that would have been more annoying for Ascended P-Arm. Pretty sure she still would have survived.
My strength is my conviction.
Legendary Nana, of course, never going to survive Brave Erica. And well, Oder, no chance either. And once again, Lif and Duma left to slowly walk towards the enemy. Not going
I
to be
cannot
threatening
fall.
in any way. And now we're just derping around while they go grab the ether structure. Looks like they're going after lift to simplify things. Pick up the exact one shot. Not that it probably would have mattered at all. Because if lift could one shot a 66 HP Brave Erica through 30% damage reduction, that either means lift is super good or Brave Erica is super bad.
I cannot fall.
Because it's pretty hard to get one shot through 30% without effective damage and whatnot. Here we are again. This time around, this person is just running the classic Plonk strategy. You don't see this too often anymore, because of course it's not as viable, thanks to some particular units running around. But as an exercise for the viewer, you can go ahead and calculate if Pirate Surtur can wall Legendary Nana when he's maxed out, or when both of them are maxed out here. Not that it really matters, of course, but Legendary Luna gets Ascended Healing once again. Use wall with Face Mirror, and it's a lot of damage coming back. But in classic Ascended Healer fashion, she couldn't one-shot. But Pirate Surtur here, a different story. The juicy bonfire for the one-shots. And well, now Legendary Nana is in range to get one shot. So go for it there. You can see there that Legendary Nana is doing a lot of damage. That's the being blue experience, debuffing her attack. That's your best chance, pretty much. Having a reasonably high HP and defense stats, and also debuffing her attack. That's why Legendary Tiki can survive Legendary Nana pretty frequently, actually. Kind of surprising at times, but because with everyone too, you get the plus 12 build buffs to defense and res. So with the Divine Mist Refine, she inflicts minus 9 attack onto Legendary Nana, which is pretty huge. And of course, Legendary Tiki is blue. Make matters worse for Legendary Nana. But once again, we're just gonna get collapsed by end turn. Not too surprising, because there's not very many gimmicks on this team. Ascended Leg Yarn's gimmick is basically if Ascended Sea-Arm can't kill and gets doubled, and then there's a follow-up, she has no Ice Mirror. That's pretty much it. And well, here we have more end turn, because it's the greatest strategy known to mankind, Kappa. Interesting to see a combination of Gale Force shenanigans. Because the thing is, you can lock in teams, so you can run different skills and whatnot. So it's kind of interesting to see that they're doing this, but hey, with Upheaval Plus on Duma, easy Wings of Mercy for Plumeria, not that it really matters. And while here, Ascended Laker going to get taken out by Henriette. And once again, they smartly do not place Henriette in Legendary Luna's range for AoE. And once again, we get mooned over by Henriette's Tome healing her, because we missed the kill by one. Totally not rigged. So sad. Not really much we can do in that situation. And well, Odor, not going to do anything for us. That's if we had a higher merge Ascended Legion, for example, we would have picked up the kill there. Although then it makes you wonder, would they have gone for the same play? Probably, unless they do their daily damage calcs. If they calced out that survival by one, props to them. Because It's honestly not that much effort to calc it out. It's pretty straightforward.
By these twin blades.
It's just a matter of the attack order, who attacks first, and it honestly doesn't matter who attacks first. So that's a bonus. And Valentine Gustav doing Valentine Gustav things with bonfire. Not a one-shot, unfortunate. Is this going to do more than 0 damage? Yes.
Out of my
That would
sight.
be funny if he did 0, but not gonna happen.
For our people.
And with Olivia left, it is pretty much the end of the season, so it looks like they're just going to go for the kill. Which is perfectly fine. And there we have it. Another sweep. Now it looks like we got ourselves an interesting team. I haven't watched this replay yet. Shamir, Kashmir, Legendary Lona, because bonus, of course. Okay. Well, looks like they just surrendered. Maybe they chose the wrong team or something. Not entirely sure, but I can see how it might be tricky for them to deal with our team here. I would personally go for a Legendary Lona engagement into Odor, then reposition out, say, Regan, Kanto out, of course, dance, and just move out. Because the best our defense can ever do is pretty much a dance on, I believe, Lilina or Nana. So Nana goes here. They could force that as well. Then they can just stay out of attack range, and then they just nuke everything. Because they have plenty of nukes here. So, yeah. Not entirely sure what happened here. But with that, that is all our replays for now this week. Did pretty poorly in terms of actual matchups for when we lost Lift, but most of the time it was followed by another failure anyways, so wouldn't have mattered too much. And even so, we only lost 60 Lift because of course we're merge plonking. I believe this should be top 3k, could be wrong, you never know. But another top 3k for the books probably. Next week is going to be interesting again because Medius bonus. That extra plus 10 HP and extra 4 res is so huge for him, especially when he has that res-based damage reduction, res-based guaranteed follow-up attack and all of that. We ended up actually free summoning Harmonized Roy. We got plus HP minus defense, which honestly isn't too terrible. Not great, but even with him, still not enough as expected to stay in interval 20. So not much to update there. Legion's battle is pretty standard, just outside of top 100, because we're scoring pretty strong during Earth season. And last but not least, Arena. You already saw we have Legendary Lilina maxed out. Not completely maxed out on score, we still need to give her a 400 SP assist, but more than enough to go back up. Of course, we could have easily stayed in tier 21 this season, but I didn't want to give Jafar Sea-Dual Infantry 4 just for staying in 1 week. Not worth it at all, so feels bad, but what are you gonna do about it? Other than that, this week, somehow our random runs every time just kept giving us 3,856. So rigged. But again, what are you gonna do about it? And for Summoner Duels, we actually did make top 1k. I believe we were like ranked 981 or something, so not even close. Or Summoner Duels S, yeah. Other than that, all the forums just started. We're probably gonna try and form a Eld again. We'll see how RNG memed we get on him. I just want to farm him because I'm gonna be real. I have these 2 Forma souls, probably never going to use them anyways, so might as well use it on a unit I could potentially plus 10 pretty easily because, of course, we're hoarding Grails. Because, again, don't really have anyone we want to build out of Grails. So, we'll be back when the results drop in. And here we are, end of the season, like usual. Not too shabby. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do this season. Ash bonus is great. Medius bonus, again, like I've said multiple times, not so much. It is Panic Manor bonus, so there's that. Let's change this real quick before I forget. And sabotage myself on offense. But I think that should be good. We'll figure out what we're doing with the defense later. Trademark. Back to interval 19 we go, and arena. All I'm saying is be better. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is HP bonus and we do have her. It's just that we can't score enough because our HP is not merged up enough to score well. Just outside of top 100 of our pretty strong scoring, and then of course Arena Assault. Arena Assault Plus is next season. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Eth the Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye.